What's up, y'all? It's your girl Moso Natural coming to you to discuss some foolishness that I've been seeing and just wanting to share my opinion on it. So don't mind my baby. She in the back watching her tablet or her phone before it's time for her to go to bed. So listen, I don't always watch this show. I watch it sometimes or whatever, but I have been keeping up with growing up hip hop, LA, I believe. And so that is where Egypt and Sam are on that show. Listen here. Egypt is Pepper of Salt and Pepper, the rap duo. Egypt is her daughter. And so Sam is some guy from around the way that they met randomly. And, you know, Egypt started dating him and they got engaged and now supposedly they're married. Somebody actually just told me that. I was on Twitter talking about, I just hate that she's in this situation. And I was like, you know, him going to jail, because that was the most recent episode was him like worrying that he was going to get 10 to 15 years for the situation that had occurred between him and the police, where several of the police that got into a verbal altercation, I guess, with him, says that he got into a physical altercation with them. So, you know, he may be going to jail for 10 to 15 years, whatever. Here's my take. I just hate that Egypt has got involved with him, okay? Egypt seems to be such a sweet, mild-mannered, supportive, talented young lady. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that she was sheltered by her mom. You can tell that, you know, she's not about that life, but she feels that she needs to be ride or die for Sam. And I think the saddest part is that Sam got with her when she was like 16, 17 years old. He was already in his 20s. And so I don't know if it was his sob story that made Pep, which is Egypt's mom, feel sorry for him. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but whatever the case may be, you know, Pep took him on as her son. And so she moved him in. And so finally now they have their own place, but she allowed him to move into the home with her and her daughter. And he already had 2 kids. He was in his 20s. Now he's 28. And I want to say Egypt is like 21, 22, but she's years younger than him. And there was this whole conversation, you know, blogs and stuff like that, friends, ex-friends coming out the woodwork, that were talking about how he's so controlling of her and how Egypt is afraid to leave him. And she's told some of her closest friends, you know, that she's afraid to leave him. He threatens to kill himself often, you know, whenever she not expresses that she wants to get out, but whenever her, I guess, personality shifts to the point where he can tell she's fed up with the foolishness that's going on, he always threatens to, you know, be suicidal or whatever. And that is a form of manipulation. Now, that is not to make light of those that do go through suicidal thoughts, but he only brings that up when, you know, she's in a space where she just is confused about the relationship in terms of like the direction it's going in, and she's not liking to be controlled. Now, of course, she's never going to openly come out and say that to everyone. I'm not going to say she's never going to, but at this point, she's not ready to do that. However, her friends, close friends, people have known her ever since she was a kid, are all very leery of this relationship. I mean, he came to the situation with nothing, but he was years older than her. He latched on to her where he is like basically her first real boyfriend, her first fiance, and now her first husband. Although she had, you know, relationships before then, how serious could they have been if she was 16, 17 when she met him? You know what I'm saying? Like, clearly those relationships were kid relationships. And so it's been placed out there several times that he has been lying and cheating on her with transgenders and all that other stuff. He says that he's him. So he's not gay, but he's not straight. And so whatever that in between is for him. But whatever the case may be, the relationship with her, he is not taking it seriously. He's not doing anything for her. She has, if anything, boosted his career and allowed him to be able to have income. Even his children's mothers, they are not bitter when they speak out at all and when they've been interviewed, but they're saying that he is someone that is very manipulative, and they hope that Egypt is able to find her way out of it, because they're very aware of what he's about and how he emotionally manipulates the women that he's with to make them stay. I think the thing about it with her is that her mom is blind to what he's doing and who he is. And I think he's gotten that emotion of her mother. One of her childhood best friends that is no longer her friend now, because basically she didn't accept Sam. So Egypt kind of moved her out of her life. Was being interviewed on one of the vloggers on YouTube, their page, and she was saying that, one, Egypt is afraid to leave him, but two, Sam has gotten Pep completely attached to him as like the mother figure, because he constantly has like one-on-ones with her and talk to her about how hard his childhood was, and how nobody cares about him and he's not close with his family like that, and all this other stuff. And so she, that mother hen way came about, and she feels like she needs to protect him, just like she needs to protect her daughter. In the process, her daughter probably doesn't even feel comfortable at this point to come to her and talk to her about some of the feelings that she's having when it comes to Sam, and that was one of the things that the childhood best friend said as well, that Sam is manipulative in the way that that the daughter doesn't even necessarily feel comfortable now going to her mom, because she knows how close her mother is to Sam. It's just a sad situation. And I think I can identify with it, because although my mother did not react to the relationship that I was in that was manipulative in the same way Pep did, like my mom always had her eyes and ears open. She could see through it. And she knew that the guy that I was with was no good for me. And she continued to talk to me until I openly was like, you know what, the things that you were saying, you're really hitting on several things that are true in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? But it took me 2 years to get to that point. And I was years older, and am years older than Pep's daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I just really hope she can find her way out of this, because he has not just narcissistic tendencies. I really believe he's a narcissist, and he's a liar. He's a cheater. Anything that she does, he feels he needs to be a part of. He doesn't come from a famous family. Egypt's father is Tretch from Naughty by Nature. Her mother is Pep from Salt and Pepper. So she is hip hop royalty, and he is not, but he gets agitated when her circle doesn't openly invite him in. And he doesn't understand that, when you're famous or you're children of stars, you need to be very particular about who enters your circle, because you don't know if they're misusing you or not. You don't know what their intent is, what their agenda is, if they have a hidden agenda, or if they're truly there to be your friend. And I think they're just protecting their circle. And he gets pissed off about that. Like, he feels that the moment that he got with Egypt, everyone was supposed to just invite him with open arms, and put him on the same platform and same level that she is, with no questions asked. You know what I'm saying? Just, where did this guy come from? None of that. Just accept me and place me at the same level she is. And that's unreasonable as hell. And so I'll definitely probably be covering this as time goes on, and this new season of growing up hip hop just started. I think It was just the first episode of the season, maybe no, second episode of the season. So I won't be doing reviews, but I'll just kind of be following their situation and speaking to it based on my personal experience. But yeah, I just thought that was something I definitely need to speak on. I think it's just really sad. And with this most recent episode, which I believe was the second episode of the season, Egypt's father, Tretch from Naughty by Nature, took her to a meeting to meet with record execs, basically, and those that were talking about like marketing and having a plan behind her marketing. And so she's an independent artist, and she was talking about she had released a video from one of her singles, and they were saying, well, what was your marketing strategy behind it? And so she was like, well, I just promote myself on my social media, let them know like, hey, the video is dropping. And she was like, but it was really no like plan behind it. They was telling her like, you have to really be strategic behind your marketing. It's 90% marketing and 10% artistry. And that was probably the first meeting that I've seen her have without Sam, because he is so tied into her business affairs even before they were married. Somebody told me they were married. I don't know that they're married, but even before they were married, he was so tied into her business affairs. And it's like, sir, you just came along. Like, you need to fall back. You know what I'm saying? To the point where she feels like she actually needs him. Like, she is codependent on him. Like, oh, he helped me so much. I was so shy. He brought me out of my shell and all of this stuff. And I could write a book, and eventually will, on narcissists and their level of manipulation, to the point where they make their victim, they make their supply believe that they need them. You know what I'm saying? And they don't. They never did. You know what I'm saying? Narcissists are nothing but in it for clout completely. You know what I'm saying? The victim usually has some type of notoriety, some money, some, networking skills where they have connections, that are well beyond the narcissist, and the narcissist latches onto that and makes it seem as if, well, I was there for this and that, and I helped you do this and that. Child, please. Like, Egypt was totally fine before he came along, and whenever that foolishness fizzles, she will totally be fine after it. But I do believe with this whole situation, in the wake of, him possibly getting 10 to 15 years, I don't think he will. But if he does get some time in prison, she's saying she's going to wait for him. And I'm like, girl, you in your early 20s. You don't know what the hell you're going to wait for. She was 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. She's like 21, 22 now. Girl, what you mean? I will wait for him. I mean, it's going to be hard, but I will wait for him. 10, 15 years, I can't see myself with anyone else. That is your 21, 22-year-old mind talking. You deserve a good man that is on your level, you know what I'm saying, that was raised right, that comes with his own money, his own sense of self. You know what I'm saying? He's not about games. He's not about manipulation. He doesn't have mental health issues to the point where it's becoming a drag for you, where you can't practice self-care, because he doesn't want to get help for whatever he got going on. A real upstanding man that respects you as the young lady that you are, cherishes you and treats you right, girl. Whoo, Lord, I just hope that for her. And I know she can get it. Like, it is totally not hard. She is just the cutest. She got, her little swag, but yes, she's a sweet girl. She's a good girl. She was raised right, well-spoken, mild-mannered, and kind of all of the other characteristics that will work for a good man. You know what I'm saying? She definitely has that very nurturing, encouraging spirit about herself. And that totally can work for the right type of man, where he pours back into her, not where he constantly needs it poured into him. And one thing there's several red flags about Sam. Like, he came to the table with absolutely nothing. He had 2 kids. He was damn near, 7 years older than her, 6, 7, 5 years older than her, whatever the case may be. She was 17 when they met. He was well into his 20s, like, receding hairline. You can't trust no man that's in his 20s with a receding hairline. Like, no, no, God is pulling it back because you're a liar. That's what it is. But one of the things that I saw in this most recent episode was where he told her, you know, she was like being real sweet and encouraging. She had set up this cute little picnic for them by the water, on the sand, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, I just want to encourage you, you know what I mean? I know you're going through a rough time. You're worried about possibly being sentenced, you know, and serving time. And I just want to let you know I'm here for you. I love you. You know, we're family. I'm here to support you. And he was so stoic. Like, there was nothing about him that like was like, you know, baby, I love you. Thank you for being there for me. You know what I'm saying? You never had to be this type of woman for me. You know what I mean? Like, man, you chose me. Come here, give me a hug. He didn't do none of that. He was just like, you know, if I go to prison, I want you to just live your life. I don't want you to wait for me. You know, I don't like really talking about this. And he called her corny. Like, she had him not blindfolded, but she told him to hold his cover his face and hold his eyes down or whatever. She was like, until we get there or whatever. He was like, make sure I don't walk into no wall. And she was like, you're not. And then she was like, you can open them, ta-da, you know, with the cute little setup. And he was just like, oh my God, you're so corny. And she was like, I know, you know what I'm saying? But, and that's okay, like to joke around like that. But at the end of the day, like, you know what I'm saying? Show her some level of affection. And it's just like, she is being his caretaker because he's been through so much in life. And he's not pouring anything back into her. And I just hate that. You know what I'm saying? And that is not to negate whatever he's gone through. But he's steady putting her in situations. He's putting her in situations to be at odds with her family. You know, one of the girls on the show, her name is TT. That's her big cousin. That's Egypt's big cousin. And they're beefing to the point where TT is about to get married. And she don't want Egypt or Pep there. You know what I'm saying? Because of this whole Sam situation. You know what I mean? Sam has gotten into it with Egypt's friends at parties, her industry friends, other children of hip hop legends. You know what I'm saying? He done got into it with them. He just coming in there, ruining relationships and creating friction. And it's like, that's clearly not somebody that's for you. You know what I'm saying? And then he gets down on Egypt like, you know, you supposed to be there for me. Like, they feel this way about me. You supposed to speak up for me. Like, dude, what? Are you kidding me right now? And I've seen it before. Now, granted, I don't have parents that's hip hop legends. But I've seen this dynamic in a relationship before because I lived it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know, it is that you have sacred with your friends, they want to be involved with it. And if they aren't, then they feel slighted or they feel you're not down for them. That is control. That has nothing to do with love. You know what I'm saying? If you're with the right type of person, they are not going to feel like if you go hang out with your friends, and not that they aren't invited, but you just hanging out with your friends, you catching up with your group of friends. If they don't come, then they feel like, oh, well, what you talking about behind my back? And those ain't your real friends because they want me there too. That's ridiculous. Like that is a sense of control. And, you know, she can't see through it because, like I said, this is her first what she would consider adult relationship. He's immature as hell, like a kid, but you know what I'm saying? She got with him right before she became an adult. So any relationship before then, I'm not gonna count you know, as like an adult relationship because she was a kid, 15, 14 and before. Like, I'm not counting that. You know what I'm saying? This situation is her first relationship in her adulthood. And I don't think she differentiates between, you know what I'm saying, what it's supposed to be and what this situation is. So I just really wish the best for her. My heart goes out to her. I know she believes that it's love. I believed that my situation was love. And like I said, I was years older than her. But I was sheltered, you know what I'm saying? So in that same way, I didn't realize like, no, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, I mean, I end up realizing it down the line, but it took way longer than it should have. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely my heart goes out to her. And I just really hope that her mom can kind of shut down that maternal instinct for other people and just open it up for her daughter. You know what I'm saying? I know she feels as if, and the best friend spoke about this, she feels as if her daughter would come to her if something was wrong. But her daughter feels like, you know, oh, he needs me and he needs my mom. He doesn't have that type of support. So I won't say anything. And I'm gonna need for her mother to be able to kind of read between the lines and see, like, dude, you getting in this type of foolishness. My daughter ain't never gotten to this nonsense until she got with you. Pulled over by the police, and you know what I'm saying, you acting belligerent toward them, and you got I think it's like 3 or 4 of the cops that's witnesses against you saying that you was acting a damn fool when they was trying to calm you down. Like, why are you putting my daughter in these situations? It don't even matter. It's done between y'all. You know what I'm saying? And so I just hate that she's not able to see through that nonsense. She's looking at it like, I tell y'all time and time again, like, man, this is not your son. This nigga was, excuse me, this young man was a young man before you came into his life, before your daughter came into his life. He had 2 kids. Like, that man done lived. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was in his early 20s when they got together, that man has lived. And he hit a lick, and that's really the way that he sees it. And they don't realize it for what it is. They just looking at it like, you know, he was down and out. You know what I'm saying? He's a good guy. He just needed a foot up, and he's so misunderstood. Everybody ain't misunderstanding him. Let's be clear. Everybody ain't misunderstanding this man. You talking about his baby mamas. You talking about her friends. You talking about her family. Everybody ain't misunderstanding him. There's nobody out to get him in terms of people that's in her circle. These people that care about her and can see through the nonsense. And there's a veil over Egypt's eyes and her mom Pep. And I just really, you know, I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing if he gets sentenced and has to go to jail. One of the biggest reasons is because, you know, he thinks it's a game. He thinks he can play with this girl and fool her and, you know, still cheat on her. Several people that have come forward with proof that he has cheated. And, you know, he's able to try to explain it away. And because she's in love, or feels that she's in love, you know, she believes him. Oh, he tells me. Oh, that's how manipulators do. They will give you pieces that you don't ask for so that you will truly believe, well, they're always honest with me because they came to me and told me this information. So anytime somebody comes out the woodwork, they do that on purpose so that when people do come out, then it's like, I always tell you when somebody tries to talk to me. No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop the nonsense. But anyway, like I said, I will, you know, cover this as it moves forward. And yeah, I'm just wishing the best for her. I don't want her to be in that nonsense. So that's it. Hope you all have a great weekend. It's horrible weather in Chicago. Some of my friends have gone out of town. It's nice and warm where they're at. Yeah, it's bad weather, so we probably won't be moving around too much. Just be in the crib chilling. Me and my baby Netflix. So, Rennie, where you go?
I sit on the floor.
You were sitting on the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Say, hi, people.
Hi, people.
All right, y'all have a good night.